welcome to another podcast episode with your host, Jenny Oceans, coming home with Jenny Oceans. And yes, I still haven't recorded that incredible banging intro, but we will get there eventually. The podcast for the woman or the man that's interesting to understand and learning more about your growth, how to grow and how to expand in a beautiful, holistic approach. So here we are, another podcast episode, and this episode is going to gift you an understanding of why do we have mentors, why do we have coaches, why do we participate in programs, and how the hell do we get out of the hole we're in, and how to compound pound, how to get out of that hole quicker. And coming to you today on a Saturday morning, and I'm sitting outside. It's just past 5 and I'm sitting outside. I brought my microphone and everything outside because I couldn't leave. The sky is so beautiful. There's not a cloud in sight. Kookaburras are saying good morning. The stars are bright. And the palm trees are just softly and gently swaying in the very gentle wind. And there was no way I was going to go inside and leave this. And when something dropped down, you got to record and share it with the world. So here I am, celebrating you for taking the time to choose yourself, celebrating you for choosing to spend this time on listening to me. I feel truly honored. And if you're new here, you have probably most likely already realized that there is no cut, there is no editing, there's no polishing, because I'm here to show and teach women how to fully love themselves and feel absolute confidence in all and everything that they do. And if I were going to be here polishing, cutting things out, making them look perfect, then I wouldn't lead with example. I would just be talking the talk without walking the walk. So this podcast, you will hear all the sounds, and there will be the odd mishap and the blurps, and that's okay because that's life. So I was just sitting out here drinking my beautiful Shilajit, and I was asking myself questions. I had a few questions on my mind, and what is easy to do is to go and ask other people for the answers, seeking externally for validations, seeking externally for answers. Do you do that? I'm really wondering, because I used to do it all of the time. And I had questions this morning, which is normal. And I sat outside under the beautiful night sky or early morning sky. And there was just silence, and I had my notepad and my pen. And I asked myself the questions. And I asked them. And you know what the amazing thing is? When you truly connect to your true self, your higher self, your true self, yourself, you, that the answers just come. It's pretty freaking cool. You write the question, and then your ego mind pops in trying to tell you the answer. And when you go beyond that and you sit in the silence, the answers shall come. And then there might be a physical sensation following that. And that's what we call the somatic part. This is why it's so important, what I spoke about in the last podcast, to combine the mind work with the somatic work, because then that's when we create change. So you ask the questions, your ego mind pops in, and then your true self pops in the silence and give you the answers, and then that answer might actually give you a physical sensation. It might be a knot in your belly, or it might be a cramp in your hand, or it might be a stab in the back. It could be anything. And just feel into that sensation. What is that sensation? And what is it trying to tell you? And often, most of the time, it feels that we have a previous experience in regards to that question, in regards to that subject, that is being created as a pain, as a T, and that is stuck in our physical body. And if we have a lot of these T's stuck in our physical bodies, now that will create a lot of discomfort, a lot of dis-ease, and we don't want that. So how do we pinpoint these umps and lumps in our body that are there because they didn't get enough support and attention and nurture through that emotion, through that experience? Now, a beautiful thing that we can do that brings in the body part is breath work. But that's not what I was going to come in here and talk to you about. So I sat here and I asked the questions. And so many things of how I live my life now is obviously how I have created my life. And it wasn't always like this, but it has become so normal that it's just a way of living life. Most of the times I don't even think about the things anymore. And you know what the even cooler thing is? That my daughter is going to grow up and she's not going to think about it, because that is just going to be ingrained into her body and her mind. That is normal. So a lot of the rolling in mud puddles, and if you haven't listened for a while and you don't understand what I mean with that, is if you haven't walked through the trenches, if what I was going to say was that she's not going to have to walk through the trenches like I did. She's going to walk through her trenches, because that's called life. But she will have tools and modalities and understanding on how to get through them trenches in some warm, really high mud boots. That's going to make it a lot easier for her, and have the understanding on how to do that. So that's really cool. So why am I talking about that when I came in here to talk about becoming? It's because inside becoming, it's not just a 6-week program where you jump online and you do the things and you listen to the live calls and then the 6 weeks is up and that's it. Becoming will absolutely transform the way you see and experience life. Now let's say that again. Becoming will absolutely transform the way you see and experience life within 6 weeks. And if that doesn't occur in the 6 weeks, then you will have one-on-one support until you do so. Now that is a freaking big thing to say from a coach, from a wellness practitioner, but that's how confident I am in that program. Why and how can I be so confident? Because I've entered a phase in my life a few years ago where I truly have embodied. And I want you to know that I continue to be the student. At the moment, I'm studying two new modalities, if you want to call, because I choose to be the student always. I'm never going to know everything. I choose to learn every day. I choose to be the student every single day. When I get in the room with people, I still am the student. I was volunteering for a beautiful, incredible breathwork facilitator training yesterday through the people I train with, the most incredible people. And I was there and I've done the training. And I've done the next level of the training and the third level of the training. And I was there to support the new students, but I still sat in the room at the same time as I was keeping my eyes open, supporting the students. I was still there with a pen and notepad, making notes. Because even if I've been there, even if I've heard it, I don't know everything. The way Chris, the teacher, is teaching, he will use different words. He would say it in a different way, and I will pick up different things. Because it's been a while since I did my training, and we're constantly evolving and growing and expanding if we choose to. And it's like, I've said so many times before, it's like every time you read a book, you will notice new things or different things or see things in a different way. The book didn't change, but you did. So I choose to always be the student, to be the best version of myself always. And by me doing so, I also make sure that I'm the best teacher for all of you, always. So inside becoming, the last few years, I've really embodied the work that I've done over the past 20 years. Now, when I say 20 years, it's 20 years that has been spent inside self-development. The first 10 years of that was an absolute blur, and I didn't even know I was doing it. But like I've said numerous times, that all the seeds that get planted, they're still going to lay around in that soil, in your soul garden, even if you don't tend to them. And when you are ready to tend to them, then they will sprout. So the first, we're going to say not 10, the first, that's not right. The first 8 years of my self-development journey, I did a lot of big things in self-development world. I went to big seminars and stuff, and that was just so wild to me. But I did it, and I didn't really know why I was doing it, but I was doing it. And all of that had a big impact on my life today, but I didn't realize it at the time. I was listening to The Secret. I had The Secret playing for a whole year, I think, every single day when I was at home. I put it on the DVD and I didn't watch the TV. I just had it going in the background. I was listening to every single damn day. And at that point, I had a cupcake bakery, and I would get up really early in the morning and I would just have it playing constantly over and over and over and over again. So what was automatically happening? I wasn't really listening, but it was going into my mind and planting them seeds in my garden. Now, it didn't really sprout until many years later, but also I did my very first vision board in 2007, and all of the things except 2 came through, and that was a whole big wall in a cafe. And again, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was doing it. And the only 2 things that didn't came through was the red Ferrari and the gold Rolex watch, because that was really, truly what I desired. I thought, my ego mind thought that's what I wanted. But there was many things in there that was things that I didn't even know why I placed up there, such as a beautiful yacht, living in a yacht, sailing. It's nothing I ever done in my life. So I have no idea why I put it up there, but that too, that happened. But moving forth, so that's 20 years of self-development. That's 20 years of investing into my mind reprogramming, my mind growth, my mind understanding, and moving into different practices, modalities. There is a car starting next door, and it's very loud, and I'm hoping that you can't hear it. But if you hear it, that's okay. It's live, right? So a couple of years back, 5 years ago, I created my very first program. It was called Say I Do. Say I Do as in say yes to yourself. Marry yourself before you marry anyone else. No one get taught to do that. No one get taught to fall in love with themselves before they give their life away to someone. I was married at 21, and I also, yes, later then divorced. But no one taught that you got to fall in love with yourself first before you give your life away to someone when you get married in a beautiful way. So 5 years ago, I created Say I Do, a beautiful program. I've had many women coming through the program, and they have all had magnificent results and understandings out of Say I Do. I have women that have done it over and over again. And it was a 22-day program. Every single day, we would jump on a call every single day. There was a new practice for every single day, and it was amazing. It was phenomenal. It was beautiful. It truly was a program to fall deeply in love with yourself and have confidence in everything that you are. It was such a beautiful program. But about 2 years ago, it just felt really light. It felt that there was so much more to give, but I didn't know how. And during this time, I've been having many in-person events, absolutely beautiful and expansive. One event's been going for nearly 2 years now, I think, the Ultimate Cacao Experience, and that is a phenomenal transformative event. I've held day retreats, I've held workshops online and in person, women's circles. I had women's circles every single month for a couple of years. It was just beautiful. So, and then I came to that 2 years ago, and I was like, I want there to be something more. I have so much more to share, and I wasn't sure how to. And then again, Say I Do was downloaded. I sat on my yellow chair, and I sat there, and I've been in a meditation, and when I got out of meditation, the entire program dropped into my mind from higher consciousness. Now, Previous to this, I've heard people talk about drop downs, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And as I sat there, this entire program dropped into my mind. I was like, holy shit, this is what a drop in it is. This is what it feels like when something just drops in. It was absolutely phenomenal. And I sat there 2 years ago, and I was like, roughly 2 years ago, I was like, okay, I want it to be more. I want something more. And I don't know how or why or when or what. And about a year ago, I think it is, becoming came. And same thing again, it just came. It landed, it came, it made sense. It was freaking potent and profound, and it was so much more than say I do. It was deep, and it was truly, profoundly transformative in a way of you will never look at you will never look at life the same way again. And what came through was, about 8 years ago, nearly on the day when I had my daughter, a couple of weeks after that, I sat in front of this burning bridge of fire, and you've heard me speak about this so much before. I sat in front of this burning bridge of fire, and I was like, holy shit, how am I going to get to the other side? And I could see what was on the other side. I knew I wanted that. I could see that's where I wanted to be. I knew I was worthy of that. I just knew that that's where I wanted to be. I didn't know how to. So I spent the next few years deeply diving into the understanding, and that's another car super loud. I hope you can't hear that. Freaking neighbors. This is why I want to be an acreage. I lose my chain of thought, but it will come back. The distraction of your environment. Your environment is key in life, just so you know, these guys. Yes, I was sitting in front of this burning bridge of fire, and I knew I wanted to get to the other side, and I just didn't know how to. So becoming is for the woman that's sitting in front of that burning bridge of fire and going, fuck, I know that I want to be on the other side. I can see what's on the other side, but I have no clue how to get there. It's like you go through life, you fall in a hole, you get out of the hole, you learn something, and then you keep walking, and then you freaking fall in the hole again and again and again and again. And you get to the point where you're so fucking tired of falling into the hole, and you're at the bottom of this hole looking up going, I don't know how I'm going to get up, and I can't get up again if I fall back in here. I just don't know how to get up. And if I get up, I'm not going to have the strength, the capacity to be able to climb back up again because I've done it so many times. And that's becoming. We will together get over that burning bridge of fire, get out of that deep fucking hole. And by the time you get to the other side, you will see, experience life in such a different way that, let's say there would be a hole again, which I'm telling you, most likely there won't, because there will be dips in the road, because that's called life, but there won't be holes. And if there were to be a big fucking hole, you will basically have a rope ladder rolled up in your pocket that you can throw over, and it will hook onto the surface, and you will easily climb up that rope ladder. Now that is. So what does that really mean? It means that we're compounding time, and this is something that's become really profound for me lately. What does it mean to compound time? It means that you are choosing to do something in a shorter amount of time. Now, how do we value that? You know, if you have a cleaner, she comes and do the cleaning so you don't have to, so you can compound time and use that time for other things. How do you value that? You know, if you're someone that earns $60,000 a year, you might value that as $30 an hour. Or if you're someone that earns $600,000, you might value that as $300 an hour. You know, it is totally depending on how much that's worth for you. Compounding that time, how much value does it give you in your life? So compounding time, can he just leave so we can continue listening without being disturbed here? So how do we value compounding time? Now, what is inside becoming is I'm teaching you what I've learned over the past 20 years. So the first 10 years I was in, I'm just going to wait. And now he's gone. You know, even though we do all of the work, things are not going to stop trigger you. You're just going to be able to get through them easier. Yes. Oh, you mother. Okay. Now, let's see if you can hear me because it just cut out.